All right. So we live in HD, of course. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this your boy Zone 6 coming at you with another video. Straight off the temple, notepad or pencil, live in HD at the East Side Palace. All right, man. I got some news for myself that I'm gonna share with you guys just to get it all the way right for the permanent location. As promised, as usual, like I said, as always. I told you guys that it's going to be a permanent state. And what I'm doing is I'm tweaking it based on the interactions and the data that I'm collecting from the YouTube boxing community and just YouTube as a whole. And looking at my schedule, looking at my peers, and looking at what kind of creative things I can do for as the channel. One thing I do appreciate about the boxing community is that it allows you to kind of experiment with some things as far as debates, content, creating content, certain etiquettes, just certain temperaments within YouTube, and it builds you up a tough skin as far as the game of YouTube as a content creator. All right, so this is what we got going on here now, and this is where we at. First off, I am going to cover what exactly the title says: Zone 6 murdering trash juice topics and fake historians. I am going to do that today, and I'm going to announce that boxing will not be a priority. What I have decided to do is because of my experience, no offense to anybody else, but based on who I am and what I like to do, and based on the experiences that I've had in YouTube, and I've seen enough data, enough information on YouTube to know that, you know what I'm saying, it's just, in a nutshell, for me, I can't speak for nobody else, but it's just lame as fuck. And I'm gonna just be real with you. YouTube really, not YouTube, but YouTube boxing community is really lame as fuck. And I'm just gonna be real with you. If we look around, we look to our left, and we look to our right, YouTube boxing community is absolutely lame. First of all, I don't like the experience of. First of all, I don't like the debates because let's speak with that first. Let's get to that shit right off the top. I don't like the debates because niggas just don't concede. Niggas lie. Niggas will say anything they gotta say to get a win and to look cool. But when you ask them about other shit in life, like politics and football and basketball, they don't know anything about those other areas of sports. So a nigga got to come on here and really engage you guys in boxing because most people don't know more sports outside of boxing. And a lot of you guys look like these gurus and these smart egghead guys because you're talking about boxing, but in all actuality, bro, boxing is not even a cool sport in America. Let's keep it a buck. Really, the shit is basketball and football. Let's stop the dumb shit. You get to hide off on YouTube on some boxing shit because not that many people really fuck with boxing. Okay? More people are going to be fucking with football, fantasy football, basketball, fantasy basketball, youth football, college football. Shout out to them Georgia Bulldogs for winning 2 back-to-back national championships. See, we're going to start talking about that. LeBron versus Kobe, LeBron versus Shaq, things of that nature. So this is a call for you to have an understanding that we're not going to do it like that no more. Because a lot of you guys, you get on here, you just look at a person's channel, you kind of just click on it and you go. You don't really look at the whole videos. I've been collecting data this whole summer or this first month of summer to kind of see where we going with this and to see if it's worth my time and worth my space. Most of this is me just interacting with you guys just because it's kind of cool to a degree. But all in all, the community as a whole, it's just always gonna be lame. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It was lame before. It's just guys are weird, man. It's just weird. You got a lot of weirdos, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys that think they're cool because of boxing. And that's just not the case. So I'm expanding to what it is that I do. Okay. I've been limiting myself to just boxing just because this is y'all the only niggas that talk boxing. Right, but we're gonna keep it more so in the sports realm because I really want to get on some football shit. I really want to talk about Demetrius Hopkins. I really like to talk about Tom Brady. I really like to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, the draft, Lamar Jackson, new contract, Aaron Rodgers, things of that nature. LeBron James, where does this place him in history since he got swept by the Joker? Who you guys got on the NBA Finals? What you guys think about Jimmy Buckets? What do you guys think about Georgia? Is Georgia going to three-peat in the national championship? And, of course, obviously some boxing, right? But we got to pull away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This community is like your side piece hole. I told you guys that before. You just don't know how to act. I buy you some hot wings, put that pipe on you, you know what I'm saying? And this is all a metaphor. And then you just still don't know how to act. You're coming up to my job, you're acting a fool, you're showing out, and all that kind of bitch made shit. So to prevent from having to go off the rails and end up having an issue and having an experience that's unnecessary through YouTube, we just gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and turn it into a complete sports channel. And this is your opportunity for you to unsubscribe or leave now. And I'm gonna tell you why this is important. Because I'm not going to allow people to come on my channel that don't know sports and don't talk sports, and they want to come over here and talk about other shit. Let me make this clear to you. When I get on this motherfucker and I'm talking football, you more than welcome to stay, but I'm trying to reach other people. I'm not finna just hide out on YouTube. So that means what's going to happen is I'm going to start broadcasting also through my Instagram and my other social medias. These are people that I respect and like in real life, and these people don't have time for games and weirdos. So this means that when I start broadcasting from Facebook, and other social networking spaces, these are people that are in my personal space, not you niggas. I know you niggas from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I don't think none of you niggas really ain't my friend on Facebook, and don't ask me to be your friend on Facebook either. Just keep it YouTube, because I know people on here like to fuck with people pictures and do weird shit in the past. So I don't know. I don't, if I don't know you in real life, I like to keep it separate. Facebook is Facebook, Instagram is Instagram, YouTube is YouTube. All right. And my phone number is my phone number. So what's going to happen is, because I'm going to bring in different people that know football, know sports, and want to talk about other stuff, then I can't have room for riffraff. So if you're a struggling boxing guy and you come over here and you start talking that shit and you bring YouTube boxing community issues to my sports page, I'm going to block and delete you. Okay? Because these are people that are in real life, that are real cool, that's real player, and they don't have time for that. They want to talk about sports. So I will bring different people on to talk about sports and create a space for them to do so. And I can't do that on YouTube, within the YouTube boxing community, because you guys just not mature enough, and you guys just don't, it just don't translate, man. We're just not the same. 1 second. All right. We just don't mesh together. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of weirdos, a lot of crybabies, and a lot of suckers and simps. And I just want to stay out of that and move into a space where we're going to talk real sports, man, and knock in on this fantasy. Fantasy football is upon us. So is the off season of football. So is basketball playoffs. And I'm missing a lot of time cooking on that shit because the nigga on here just judging debates. So here's the thing. I'm going to scrap Thursday's show, and I'm going to get with Phil Walker, The Fix. And me and Phil Walker will be designing a new collective dual show that is a good comprehensive schedule for he and I, which will be between Tuesday, 9 to 11 in the morning, and then we will alternate that at 9 to 11 at night, Eastern time. Obviously, if you're Central, it'll be 8 to 10. That's just the best thing we can do. Me and him discussed it this morning. We want to venture out, and we want to do a Shannon and Skip type of thing, a Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman thing, and we want to do it like that. And we're going to be giving our football predictions, March Madness. We're going to break down the brackets. We're still going to break down boxing. We're going to probably tap into some MMA and the hot trendy topics, some tennis, the Olympics when they come back around or whatever, which should be next year, 2024. So we want to be in spot, and we want to be in place to talk about that track and field as well too, because me and Phil also fuck with track and field. I also, as a tidbit, I also fuck with wrestling, collegiate wrestling. So that's something else that we'll probably bring in. I know a couple of fellas fuck with golf and baseball as well too. I will tap into NASCAR. I have tapped into NASCAR. I do fuck with NASCAR. So we will see what's up with that, and as we expand and grow, so we don't have to be just limited to boxing. So this is going to be a sports channel. Me and The Fix are going to work out, him and me together, podcasting on the whole entirety of sports. All right, it's going to be really a sports channel. Obviously, we're going to primarily focus on the hot trendy topics. That just makes sense. If it's something hot in boxing and it's that time, we're gonna fuck with boxing. If it's baseball, it's baseball. If it's basketball, it's basketball. Okay, that's just what it's gonna be. We're gonna come off the boxing as the sole provider of content. That's not gonna happen anymore. So scrapping Thursday, July, me and him, he and I will start the podcast. We'll start announcing the dates. We'll start doing promo. We'll go from there. Okay. So we're not going to get into these tits for tats. Phil also planning on podcasting from multiple outlets, Facebook, Instagram, and his platforms as well. And I'm sure that he don't feel like dealing with any ignorance because we already talked about this and we both are annoyed with just y'all having it fucked up. Not you in particular, but just the whole game of YouTube. So we're going to change it into sports. We're going to be talking about the MVPs. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl race, our predictions, who we think is the greatest of all time. We're going to be rating basketball players, greatest of all times. And the same thing we do with boxing, we're going to do in real sports. So you guys can kind of get an example of how we do this and how we do research on the football side of the house. Because see, with football, you can't go around here talking shit to people because you might get yourself stabbed. You know, in the games, you go to Philly and you get disrespectful, you might get yourself stabbed, you might get yourself hurt. Just real talk. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk like this at a bar. You go down to a bar, you can't talk disrespectful to anybody. It just don't work like that. You can't go to the Warriors game and start talking shit. You might get your ass stopped. Only in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Only in boxing can you do this obscure shit that doesn't make sense. All right? So it's fun and it's cool talking boxing, but me and Phil are going to expand. We're going to come on Tuesdays 9 to 11, sometimes 9 to 11 p.m., sometimes 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those will alternate. Okay, and then we're gonna come and lock in on a different set day, which me and him are going to lock in on for certain, which would be probably most likely Sunday mornings, right? Sunday mornings at 9 to 11. Okay, 3 of those. One of those Sundays will be off, so we'll be hitting you Tuesdays with alternating schedule from 9 to 11 a.m., 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Tuesday, it'll be alternating. Obviously, we'll put the schedule up when it's time. And then every Sunday morning, me and him, he and I will get together and we will cook on that football before football starts, get our predictions in, what we think, probably cover some of our fantasy league issues. And I also do basketball fantasy league as well, too. So, we'll be able to cook on that because, you know, basketball season start 4 weeks into the football season. And we'll cover some college football, run the national championship. We'll run a draft. He and I missed that this year because we just didn't get on it real quick. Hold on. All right. So we'll rate tight ends. We'll rank greatest college players all time, greatest athletes all time. We'll mix boxing in there to show boxing that love. And we'll build from there. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Sundays and it's going to be Tuesdays. Tuesdays because we get to recap on Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and Thursday Night Football. And Sunday is just kind of to get the predictions. And Sunday also allows us to trap anything that happened on a major fight on boxing that Saturday, talk about the weigh-ins, talk about the results of the fight, transitioning into football, which will cover some fantasy, which will cover some now, obviously, in the summer, we won't be doing too much about football. We'll be doing more of the boxing because, you know, you got the Earl Spence fight on Sundays. But when football season starts, he and I will cook on that. Phil also has experience with the collegiate level of and some professional understanding of how to get to point B from point A. All right, so his story, my boy Clark, those guys know what it takes to get to the next level to a degree. Obviously, I coach youth football. I played myself too. But we're going to be able to talk about a lot more of that when we get to the new procedures. So what we're going to do is, again, Thursday is going to be scrapped. But however, Sunday, I do got something boxing for you that's coming. On Sunday, I have BVO versus Get This Smoke. Okay? Get This Smoke and BVO will be debating each other for one of the titles at $50. All right. They got the format up. It's already locked in. I'll let Smoke do his due diligence on promoting. I will assist him in that. I'm letting you know, guys, BVO versus Get This Smoke. We've already got the judges set out. We got the topic set out, and it's going to be a good one. And it's going to give Smoke a chance to come in here and do what he do. BVO is going to give him a chance to do what he do. After that debate, I won't chase anybody down for debates. If you want to debate, my deal still stands. Just email me or contact me. Challenge anybody who you want outside of me because I'm not participating in that anymore. I will only have conversations with boxing fans. I will not engage in debates. That's going to be a waste of my time. I'm only going to involve myself in conversations just like I would do with football or basketball. Wayne Talk is a basketball specialist. I don't know how he would fit in. I don't know where he would fit in. He would come in and do his thing. Rollo mess with baseball. Rollo mess with football and basketball. We all fuck with football. We all fuck with basketball. We all fuck with boxing. Some of us venture off into other things. Like I said, I look at collegiate wrestling. I know we also some of us mess with MMA. So we're going to have some featured guests on here. And I'm talking about real guys that we know. So we don't have time for the dope heads, the coke heads, the drunkards. We don't have time for that. We're going to be blocked. You're going to be blocked if you come over here with that fuck shit because we're going to have real people on here now. We're going to reach out to some of our point of contacts to try to make the show interesting and get some real guys on here that, you know, we've involved ourselves with on a sports type level. And I'm going to have different people come in on the podcast. You see one guy, Big Hill. Big Hill don't just do boxing. Big Hill, that's my partner. He messed with basketball tough. And I got a couple of other guys that's waiting in the wing. They just don't find boxing too interesting. And they casual fans of boxing. But then these guys really know their football shit. And if they casual with boxing, they don't have time for guys to be talking all that kind of shit while they're trying to enjoy a sports podcast. So we're going to clear up the riffraff. If you come over here with the dumb shit, I'm going to block you. And then you're going to be up out of here, right? So that's what me and Phil, a.k.a. The Fix, got planned. Whenever I get a hold of him, he'll come on. We'll cook on it some more. But I'm going to scrap the show on Thursday. I'm going to make room for the debate that's on Sunday for BVO and Get This Smoke. And we're going to keep cooking from there. One thing about the boxing scene, I'm going to say this about these trash juice topics and these fake historians. That's one thing that's a turnoff for people who want to interact with boxing. The fake historians, right? It's a lot of backdoor talking, a lot of this and that, and a whole bunch of criticism and critiques. But nobody don't really want to put their mouth where they put their money where their mouth is. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real with it. It's a lot of instigating, a lot of backbiting, backdooring, sensitivity, bitch moaning and complaining. And nobody don't got time to be involved in that, man. They just want to do a sports podcast and have a good time with their peers and record the shit and put it down in the history books. All right, so people don't want to come over here and they're casual fans of boxing, but they're football heads, right? Because see, this is where you guys got to imbalance it. You might know boxing, and I might bring somebody on here. We don't have time for you trying to be an egghead and shit on them. Because then if I switch the conversation to football and basketball, some of you guys don't know a goddamn thing about football. And you would be the guy who need to be sitting down and learning something. You understand what I'm saying? You see? So when I started talking about Jefferson, I started talking about Chase, and I started talking about Diggs, and I started talking about Devontae Adams, I started asking you who's the number one receiver in the league in your opinion, and you just lost. Like, you can look stupid too. You can look like a casual too. You know what I'm saying? So it's balance to everything. And then we want to bring that balance. And this is the best way to bring this balance. So anybody that wants to debate, the deal stands if you want to debate boxing, right? This is exclusively. Now, I'm still going to have love and exclusive things for boxing community because debate and education is healthy. When it's a boxing topic and you want to challenge somebody on a debate, I will drop the belt to you and give you $50 if you do it here on this channel, and I will hold that stuff for you. That's not going to change. This doesn't mean that when Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford fight, I'm not going to be nowhere to be found. We're just going to talk on it and cook on it. We're just not going to talk on it for 18 months. You know what I'm saying? I won't be doing that. Right? You know what I'm saying? And then and I think this is good because it get to show you how football fans interact as opposed to boxing fans. It's showing you how basketball fans interact as opposed to boxing fans. Now, don't get it twisted. Those guys can become knuckleheads too, and they can have some crazy arguments, but it's a lot different, bro. It is a lot different. So I think you guys will enjoy some of these basketball debates. Because hey, LeBron or Jordan, that's a debate there. For legacy, they have the same debates. You guys just are not privy to that because you stuck sometimes on boxing, which is cool. A lot of guys are going to ask who's the best quarterback of all time minus Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Who you got between Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, Big Ben and Brett Favre? You know what I'm saying? Who you got between Terry Bradshaw and Troy Aikman? So those are the kind of questions we got. Randy Moss or T.O. or Marvin Harrison. You know what I'm saying? Is Travis Kelce the greatest tight end of all time? Could be. All right. So don't get it twisted. This is not a complete abandonment of boxing. Don't get it twisted. We just expanded to other sports because we talk about other sports. That's just the life that I live, and that's the reality that I live. You know, Georgia is the national championships two times. You know what I'm saying? National champions. And the Braves just won the World Series. Now we just need to get the Hawks and the goddamn Falcons over the hump. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a Falcons fan. I'm a Hawks and a Braves fan and a Bulldogs fan. But I do not like the Falcons for the record. So I hate the Falcons. I just like football generally, right? So the fake historian attitude is a turnoff. Right? Especially for people who are new to boxing. Trash juice topics. Like, keep talking about the same thing in boxing, man. That shit really get old, dog. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's no caveat to that rule. Just talking about boxing is really, really kind of boring. It's really kind of lame. Nobody want to talk about Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. The fight is booked, man. I don't even know what else to say about the shit. Right? You guys really don't. You kind of fuck with history, but you kind of don't. The debates, I don't see nobody out there for me. That is put in work that I haven't already beat. That's interesting for me to debate, really. Because every time I debate somebody, they come up with an excuse and they start crying and whining to the judges and arguing with the judges and shit like that. And it just be y'all. They always saying something. So I don't really have time for that shit. You know what I'm saying? We all know what it is. When somebody's ready, they can get this work. Blood Boxing looking for some work out there. He said he want to try to get in on it. A lot of guys are afraid of blood for some reason. So I'm probably going to end up doing something with him. Just depends on what me and his schedule look like. It looked like something in July we might do because it appears that we don't have too much participation. So I'll just go ahead and push the envelope on that myself. But however, Get the Smoke and BVO are debating each other for one of the belts. We're looking to drop the belts, the other two belts, to somebody else if they like it. And that is what it is. So I'm going to be trying to run the channels from a sports perspective, me and Phil Walker, a.k.a. The Fix, right? So the topics are getting redundant. The topics are getting really the same. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. I'm going to go ahead, just because this is boxing though, right? Any trash juice topic you want to talk about right now, right here, live in HD. And I'm still going to fuck with boxing. I still fuck with boxing. I'm going to drop the link. So anybody want to say anything they got to say, come on here. Give me your speech. Give me your thought process. Anything you want to say about the community. Anything you want to have a conversation with me about, I'm always ready. We can talk about anything you want. You can try me if you want. You can challenge me if you want. But I want to get all this out the way now because I got time today, and we're going to run this shit. We're going to run this shit. And I want to know what you guys got on your mind for us this boxing, because We're gonna dump this shit off today. I'm scrapping Tuesday. I'm gonna support Smoke then with that debate. I think it's gonna be a lovely debate. And then I'll return to boxing when some shit going on the channel. Like obviously, when Tank them sign something, but I'm not finna be in these guys pockets, pay-per-view, like that shit that shit cool, but that shit kind of old though. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that want to get on here, they want to talk boxing, as you see, let me show you this. All right, you see that guy in the background? I'm gonna show it to you again. That's Travis Kelce, man. That's my favorite tight end in the fucking league, and he is a person that I will be looking for within the realm of fantasy. So I'll show you him one more time. That's Big Travis Kelce. That is my favorite tight end in the league, Travis motherfucking Kelce. That's who I like. You know what I'm saying? And I like Patrick Mahomes. He's my favorite quarterback in the league. Jalen Hurts and Brown is over there doing some monster shit. But here we go. It is what it is, man. Jedi, anybody got time to click the link? We're not going to waste all your time. I just put out the information that I need to put out. Let me go ahead and start working on scrapping. Let me scrap that other podcast as well, too. I'll scrap that when I get offline. My thoughts, any questions? Any questions you guys want to ask me? Anything. I answer it, whatever it is. My opinions and my thoughts. What do you guys want to cook on? Okay, we got, zone. One interesting topic is how good Mahomes is. Some people say he's already the ATG quarterback and will be greater than Brady. All right, so that's a good topic. Is he going to be able to catch him in rings? That may not be possible, but if he get four, he might be in there. You see what I'm saying? Because he can break records and stats. For his purity, skill set, ability to throw the ball. I mean, the dude is A1. He's awesome. Right now, I got Patrick Mahomes, but here's the problem though. Patrick Mahomes did lose the 1-on-1 to Tom Brady. Had he beat him, and then this had been his third one, then we can start having that conversation. But do not forget, Kansas City had a shot. I know their offensive line was hurt. I know they had some injuries, but remember, Tom Brady did beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. All right, so don't get it twisted. That may play a big factor in their all-time great status. Plus, Mahomes got to actually catch the motherfucker in rings. So it is what it is. Arm wrestling. I'm into arm wrestling. I've been into arm wrestling since Over the Top. You know what I'm saying? That's how long ago I've been into arm wrestling. I just haven't really caught up with it because what I've been tapping in on Jedi is really that bare knuckle boxing. I really, really kind of like that shit. That shit really got my interest right now. And that's what I kind of been on for as the new sport or the new time slot. I really been searching for that bare knuckle boxing. I really like that. All right. Mr. Paz, this is a good one. Zone, in your opinion, how good was Antonio Brown? He had an insane stats. In your opinion, should Terrell Owens have made the Hall of Fame way earlier than he did? Yeah. I think Mr. Paz, I think Terrell Owens could have went in there a little bit earlier. I think they put too much on his character and trying to write him out of history in a bad light, trying to call him team obliterator. A lot of that was writing for Skip Bayless and the pundits. But T.O. is probably top 5 receivers of all time. I mean, obviously, clearly there's Jerry Rice, there's Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, and then you got T.O. T.O. probably be up there, and then you got Michael Irvin, and you got Megatron probably, right? Chris Carter is an honorable mention. Don Beebe, Andre Rison, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton from Miami days with Dan Marino, Tim Brown. So it's a lot of guys that you can name as top receivers. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt from them St. Louis days, with the 2000 Rams when it was that high power offense with Marshall Faulk. So in all actuality, man, I think that T.O. landed where he landed. You just got to be cool to people, man. You can't just be a lame motherfucker. And I'm not trying to hold that against I'm not trying to hold that against T.O., but you got to be kind. You got to be respectful. I'm not saying he did anything illegal or wrong. You know, sometimes it's politics, but I think T.O., he's in the Hall of Fame like he's supposed to be, but he should have been in there a lot earlier, in my opinion, but he is in there now. Antonio Brown was good. Antonio Brown ran the league for a few years. You know what I'm saying? That 16 run, 15, 17, and he just fucked himself. All right. Zone, in your coaching style, whose playbook has influenced your coaching the most? Did you add some of your own stuff into it, or did you mostly take stuff from professional coaches? So when you start talking about youth football, Mr. Pads, there's a lot that goes into it. You got to get the kids to understand the positions and the primary responsibility of the positions first. You can't just go out here and turn these guys into Odell Beckham because they're little bodies, right? And we're talking about coaching on the youth level. So you got to have a certain level of discipline and respect first within the community. You can't be out here running your mouth like how kind of it happens on YouTube. You got to be an example, a pillar in the community to galvanize the kids' attention. You also have to have some type of current swag. I didn't say you got to act like a kid, but you kind of got to know the gritty. You kind of got to know, like, you see what I'm saying? You kind of got to, it's a certain thing you got to have when you out there with them kids and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain bop that you got to have. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain swag you got to have. You got to have it because the kids like that. You got to give them like Takis. You got to give them like $5 for an incentive. I ain't say put no bounty out on nobody, but you got to take them out, man. Like, this is the stuff that happens in real life with me outside of YouTube. That's why I say we got to switch it up. I did not take anything from the professionals, but I did implement the basics, like the full route tree. The kids got to know the full route tree. They got to know defensive end tactics, right? If they playing DN, they got to know how to make the L, and it's more so about containment at the youth level, okay? Until they start developing and get to middle school, high school, you start seeing more complex schemes. But at the youth level, we're feeding them into the middle school level and the high school level. We're preparing them for high school football. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We try to make it simple, and we try to make it clean, and we try to stay with the same kids so that we can add more to their plate over the years. We don't try to bombard them with a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of other elements that go into the youth football because you got to get kids to play. You got to get kids in the right spot. You could also get a kid to play and kind of put him where he's going to be surrounded by good players so he can make a play. There's a lot more to it and a lot more strategy with youth football because they're kids. The primary mission of youth football as a certified coach is to have, they got to have fun. It is to also create healthy hearts and get these guys I thought I heard something. I be in my garage, so the garage thing over there, so you gotta listen out for motherfucker. But it be people riding down the street. But okay. So you gotta promote a healthy heart and get these kids in shape, get them some friends, you know what I'm saying, get them some discipline. Have the parents get a break from them, like in a way where they're working out, they're strengthening their bodies, they're strengthening their minds. We be on them for our schoolwork, tutoring. They get to see that male leadership out in the community. In addition to their dads, they get to go to clinics. We get to travel, and it's fun, man. And you get to see kids develop. It's really fulfilling. But just some of the small things. When you got two DNs. At the youth level, they're trying to make an L. Their primary job is to control containment because 80% of youth football, they're going to run. Now they're starting to come out of that and they're starting to air it out. But most football programs at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 they're going to try to run the ball down your throat and control the clock. So those DNs are very, very important to control outside containment. Even with those two cornerbacks as well, too. You're not really going to see too many people get bummed. You will get some teams try you, and then we only playing one high. Okay, we're not playing too high. We're playing one high, and we're putting 8 in the box. So when you start putting 8 in the box, you got an opportunity to put a 5-3, which is, 5 down linemen and then 3 linebackers. Or you could do a 4-4, which is 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers. Or you could do 4-4 stack. You know what I'm saying? You could do a bear. You could do Okies. It just depends on all the terminology that you got to use at the youth level, because they have to understand the basics of the A gap, you know what I'm saying, the B gap, the C gap, the D gap, and what you got to do with those gaps first. They got to understand certain stuff, which is complex like field side, boundary side. You see what I'm saying? So that they can't absorb too much professional playbook stuff, but they can absorb professional habits. Because a lot of professionals like Cam Newton come out here, he talk to the kids. A lot of ex-football players come out here and talk to our kids and shit like that. And we got access to those guys when you out at the clinics and stuff like that. All right, so let me see something. Mr. Paz again. Zona always felt that the disrespect Coach Prime got was way over the line. He did the right thing, in my opinion, and made Jackson State way better than when he was there. Yeah, he did. Anybody that understand what Deion Sanders says? See, me and Phil had talked on this. We had talked about it offline. And I'm glad you said that, Mr. Paz, because I'm going to write that down. And then me and Phil will revisit that when we really get on here and start cooking football about Deion Sanders. See, I like this. See, this feels more better. This feels fluid already, because you guys got questions. We're interacting. Nobody got to cuss. We just get to cook. And I ain't going to be the only one. Phil going to be on here. Other people going to be on here. Friends that I know. Like I said, I'm going to be inviting people from my Facebook. And these are other coaches that may come on. You're going to have basketball coaches. I got some guys that I went to high school with that coach youth basketball as well, too. So it's not all about just football. We talking about every level and shit like that. That's just reality of it. So I think Deion did the right thing. We can get into that. A lot of people try to bring the politics into football, but Coach Prime did exactly what he had to do as a person who's trying to project himself into the future. So a lot of these guys, they had something negative to say, don't even got nothing to do with football. Some of these guys don't even got kids that play football. They got kids that play different sports. Some of these guys never stepped on a football field in their life, and they want to give you their thoughts and their analogies on football. And it doesn't work like that. You got to really be out there to really, really understand football and really, really understand what's going on. And that's youth baseball as well, too. I don't coach youth baseball, but I be out there sometime to learn, and I've been out there to support, because my children, they're athletes, and they'll kind of play baseball, they play football, and then we even venturing into some karate. And then when I get into that karate, I know Jay Cotto is a karate guy. I want to get one of my sons into karate, both of them. They got the tendencies to want to let them hands go. I will do boxing, but I want to start with karate first, because I want that discipline, and I want them to understand the proper usage of weaponizing yourself. Because here, boxing, if I put them in boxing, I already know my two miniature zones, not the two bigger ones, but the 2 miniature zones. They're going to let them rockets fly on your ass. And I can't have them going around beating people up and shit like that, or using that as a tool of destruction. So the 2 little zones, they're going to do karate. The other one, he does football, and the other one does track. You see what I'm saying? So that's already covered. And then I got a softball player. So we got a lot of athletes and a lot of academically inclined children. So I'm going to start the littles off with martial arts first. And then I'm probably going to take it. It's not the bigger zone. It's the little one that I know that wants to throw them hands. He got a right hand, and he likes to let it go. He really likes to throw the right hand for some reason. And both of them are south. I got one southpaw in the house, but he played football. Everybody else is right hand, but I can write with I actually can write with both hands. I'm ambidextrous. I don't know if I was left-handed when I was little and I was writing and they told me not to write with my left hand, so I started writing. I don't know what happened, but I can write with both hands. And even when I'm in school, when I'm in the classes, I'll switch. Like if on this side, I will write. If I'm taking notes, I'll write on this side. You know what I'm saying? I write on this side. And then when I'm flipping the page and I'm on this side, I kind of write this way away from it. I don't know. But I can write with both of my hands. And me, I am I would say I'm right hand dominant, but I do everything left. You know what I'm saying? I kind of so if I'm going to box, then I would be considered a southpaw, but I'm very right hand dominant, and that's because for some reason these hands have given me a lot of success in sports. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from wrestling as well too. Usually when you're wrestling, you're gonna do your dominant hand is gonna be forward. It's just kind of the opposite of boxing. Opposite of boxing, you know, obviously your dominant hand is gonna be for your power. But in wrestling, then you kind of lead with your dominant hand. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's what it's from. And then plus I write with my left hand, and I like Winky Wright too. That may have some impact on it. He the one I think that when I found out he was right-handed and he fight left-handed, I kind of emulated that. And it just feels more comfortable with this hand, you know what I'm saying, back here to snap on you. And in my right hand, I could control you with the jab. That's from the wrestling, and then come down the pipe with the left. You see what I'm saying? That's just me. I mean, I'm really in shape, but I'm not one of these, like, I got muscles and shit, but I'm not one of these guys that's blocky. Like I'm kind of like fast twitch, like an Andre Berto. Like I'm kind of like fast twitch. That's from football. I'm not a flop guy like that. I'm really like I move, like slap you and slap you down. You know what I'm saying? I'm real snappy, like a Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, but I don't fight that way. You see what I'm saying? I kind of really on some Sugar Ray Robinson shit, like, because I was always taught to kind of, you know, have these hands and let them fly, like Larry Holmes. Matter of fact, that's when you from Georgia, they teach you that. If you look at Vernon Forrest, Sugar Ray Robinson, Larry Holmes, and Holyfield, they all get up on their toe. Even though Holyfield was Diesel, the motherfucker was kind of like, you see what I'm saying? He kind of was, he had it all. Larry Holmes was in shape. He kept you at the end of that jab. You know what I'm saying? Uppercut. It is what it is. Vernon Forrest, you see what he did to Shane Mosley. So it's just something in Georgia, we just teach it different. You know what I'm saying? It's just different about fighting in our perspective on fighting. We kind of don't, if you think about it, it ain't too many people that you just know from Georgia that's really like sluggers. We don't have no big time. We got boxers. Georgia has a lot of boxers. You don't really see too many sluggers or one-sided type of fighters come out of Georgia. I will argue in going to some boxing, and you guys can challenge me on this, baby. We got Holyfield. We got Holyfield. We got Larry Holmes. We got Sugar Ray Robinson. We got Wildcat. We got Vernon Forrest. We got Young Scribbling. We got a lot of Georgia guys that'll be it. That Holyfield, Larry Holmes, and Sugar Ray Robinson is massive. I don't know how many people can top those three right there from any state, from any era. I don't know how many can top that. I know Texas got Big Jack Johnson and Big George Foreman. You know, Mexico, a whole country though. You know what I'm saying? You had to give me a city, but Georgia got a lineup, a hell of a lineup. So that's just how you come up in Georgia, man. Especially in the inner city and in the country, they kind of teach you to be, you know, kind of like just, you know, multifaceted, man. Shit, it's just that's the way it is in Georgia. You know, we big on sports, man, and we big on athletics. So, yep, that's it. We got a lot of Georgia. We got a lot of Georgia guys too. Yes, and a lot of people get credit. Like, so with Ezra Charles, right? Most people kind of think that because Cincinnati, it just like even with Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin, they fight up there, but they come from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? They come from Georgia. They started here and then they migrated up north because obviously that's where some of the boxing gyms at. And if you got talent in Georgia, then you might want to kind of take advantage of opportunities. Because Midwest, I think the Midwest and the Northeast has the best gym culture. I think the Midwest, I think the South has the best fighters. I think the Midwest and up north has the best training facilities and knowledge. I think the West Coast is a combination of both. I think the combination of both. Let me see. No one touching. Okay, so you guys in there talking about some comic book stuff and Superman type stuff. Let me see. All right, so I dropped the link one more time, and then we'll kill this shit, and that's what we're gonna do. Boxing is boxing. We're gonna have some fun. You guys can be all over the place like you were. That was a cool. I see Bruce Wayne hype low. Hey, I can't wait. I seen the Spider-Man, Spider-Verse look good. I definitely want to mess with that. On top of Spider-Man, I'm going to go see Transformers probably this weekend as well too. And that's what it is. So we're gonna get hype low in here, man, just to talk about some universal topics, man. Boxing, sports as a whole, it is what it is. Let's get
my brother. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, hype low? How you doing today?
I'm chilling. I've been, I'm an insomniac, so I've been up all night. But I was intrigued by what you just said. I honestly, as a state, I don't know of any other state besides Georgia that has so many great fighters. Honestly, I can't think of another one. I mean, I'm not talking about Puerto Rico because, of course, we have our great fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the United States, Georgia seems to, like, when I recall, it seems to have the best ones.
Yeah. Just Sugar Ray Robinson, Holyfield, and Larry Holmes alone is three that's gonna be hard to beat.
And then you got Charles, Walcott.
Yep.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got a lot of Georgia people that people don't understand, because when you see Gwinnett County,
there must be something in that water down there, bro.
It is. See, a lot of people think that that doesn't mean because you don't see Atlanta. When you see Gwinnett, Cobb, Fulton, DeKalb, Americas, Savannah,
Dribbling,
Macon, young Scribbling. See, that's all Georgia. See, when people say Texas, they say Texas and they automatically lump it in. But when we do Georgia, they always think that it's just Atlanta and then the rest of Georgia for some reason.
I don't know. Texas really has that many good fighters, honestly.
I don't know. Well, see, Phil, come on and cook with me, man. We just talking.
What? You got Spence and
this.
What, the Galveston
Well,
Giant?
You got Big George
Jack
Foreman,
Johnson?
arguably top three.
Wasn't that Texas?
Yeah, Johnson. You're talking about two heavyweights. Yeah, you're talking about two heavyweights that's arguably top five of all time, in George Foreman and Jack Johnson.
Okay, all right.
You got Terry Norris.
But damn,
Terry
bro,
Norris is also from Texas.
Did you hear the list from Georgia?
Yeah, no, I heard the list from Georgia. I'm representing,
bro. I'm going to tell you right now, California ain't got shit on that Georgia list.
Yeah, I'm just representing for Texas though, because we got terrible Terry Norris in there too. I think the new crop of Texas fighters are really good though.
I mean, if I had to scrounge together a list, I could. Ward, Corbett, Toriansky.
Yeah, California boys.
Yeah, bro. We got a couple fighters out here.
Shane Mosley, Pomona, California.
Yeah, Mosley, De La Hoya, but
Andre Ward.
Nah, they don't compare to that fucking. Yeah, I said Ward a minute ago, but
Oh
they
yeah,
they
yeah,
don't they don't compare to that Georgia list, in my opinion. I think
yeah. I mean,
Georgia's like got a
Georgia got Sugar Ray Robinson, Holyfield, and
shit. I
I
got a
mean,
bus passing in front of me.
Holmes
and Larry Holmes, yeah, too. So yeah, there you go.
and Walcott.
Uh, yeah, Wildcat. That's
Which
another one.
one though? Be specific.
What you mean? Which one?
Which Walcott?
The heavyweights.
Jersey Joe?
Yeah, I think George. He from Gwinnett, and so is Israel Charles.
Okay. I know it's not the Barbados team.
Not that dude. No, man, I'm talking about the heavyweights. And Wildcat, yeah. So that's what, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Ezra Charles for sure. And
Remember
Wildcat,
when I brought up Walcott years ago in the debate, and everyone was like, "But he's a heavyweight."
oh yeah, they didn't know which one you were talking about. Yeah. So yeah, man, I got Phil here now, man. Phil can elaborate if Phil. Let me see. Jack Johnson. Do you know Jack Johnson was a Freemason? Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was able to kind of make some moves and shit like that. That's why he was so player. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Phil is here. Phil can elaborate on our sports joint venture together as partners, man, and how we plan on diversifying. You guys heard me cook on it. They was asking some good questions. Phil, we got one already. They wanted us to answer. Mr. Paz asked this one. He said, do what we think about that Dion shit that we had talked about. I said, damn, and we talked about it. We ain't put it on wax. So they
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good question. We can cover that. That particular conversation can go so deep. If you want to start from the beginning and work your way until present time, just as far as him on his coaching journey, that'll be a all show kind of deal, man, because that thing can go extra deep, man. So
yeah, that's a good one. So we're gonna be cooking on this football stuff, man. He got asked some questions about how to get the kids and do we use professional playbooks. And I was telling him, now you can't overwhelm the kids. It's really a building process to prepare them for the middle school or in high school level. And just keeping it simple for the most part when you start talking about youths. Because like I said, you're just trying to create healthy hearts, get these kids off the video games, give them some good role models, and give them an opportunity to make some friends and, travel and have a good time and stuff like that.
yeah, man. At that level, man, it's all about the fundamentals, man. Foot placement,
That's gonna
hand
be a
placement.
journey for me, bro. I want to learn
Yeah,
more about football, but I'm like an absolute zero as far as knowing about football.
yeah, man. So you're talking about on a little league level, man. It's all about the fundamentals, obviously. Learning how to tackle, foot placement, hand placement. Um, getting these guys to know each position, what each position entails. You know, you may want to be a quarterback, but then when you realize how much responsibility the quarterback has and how smart the quarterback has to be, you may realize that you just want to catch that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You might want it to be like, nah, let me just go ahead and be a receiver. Because each one of these positions has a certain level of responsibility. And although football is a team sport, each position is not created equal at the end of the day. Um, so it's just little stuff like that on the fundamental level with the kids that you need to prepare them for, because to me, sports is a good representation of how life is, because you're going to win, you're going to lose, but at the end of the day, hard work, dedication, it prevails in the long run. So I've
Am I
always
right in
been,
saying like there are like different body types would play different positions in football?
Absolutely.
yeah,
Like
yeah, to a certain
it,
All
extent.
right, so where would all right, give me like where Tommy Hearns, if he was a football player, where would he play with a tall, skinny frame like that? Like a receiver, maybe?
so you got different levels. You saying if he's that as a kid, is he that as a high schooler, and then
No,
how?
like as an adult,
Yeah, he
you
gonna be
know,
receiver. He's 6 feet, slim. I mean, clearly he weighed up from 147 all the way to 200.
Where would you put a Tyson though? That's the positions I don't know.
Tyson Fury?
No, Tyson, Mike Tyson. No.
Running back, probably running back.
Yeah.
What does a running back do? I don't even know.
Oh man. They run the ball, but as far as Tommy Hearns, you would put him at either a wide receiver, like Zone said, or you could potentially put him at a defensive back, which is what Deion Sanders played, right? Exactly. So, but yeah, Mike Tyson would be a running back, which is the guy that traditionally runs the ball. It's the position is kind of self-explanatory. It's an offensive position.
So, like, when the quarterback passes it, like, to the guy and he runs, that's what Mike Tyson would be?
It would be more so on a handoff on a fundamental level.
That's what I'm saying.
Level.
Like, like he hands it off to the running back and then they run.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm guessing, like, let me think. Tyson Fury type body type would probably be like a center, no?
Tackle, offensive tackle.
Yes, because he can move. Tackles are they're more athletic and mobile out of the big guys that protect the quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
And most of the time, your guards are faster because they have to do a lot of pulling.
Mm-hmm.
So who would you put as a center, like David Tua, or like?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. That's D tackle. Yeah, usually the Samoan guys and the guys.
But he's kind of small though. He's kind of short.
Yeah, but the center.
Don't you want a bigger guy though?
Kind of. Nah, centers are traditionally 6'2" and above. Like your Jeff Saturdays, guys like that, right? Centers aren't very big guys. But
so maybe like a Jack Johnson would be a good center.
Nah, I'd say like a Butterbean.
Yeah,
Butterbean. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like a slim down Butterbean would be a good center.
Sam Peter is a good one. Somebody Mick says Sam Peter, because you got to think, Hyplo. You got an offensive line and a defensive line. So for every offensive position, a couple of different off traits can make you a linebacker as opposed to a running back. So for instance, we said Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, if he fumbles the ball or he has an issue with getting tackled, then if he's a guy who likes to tackle more so than get tackled, then we're going to probably put him at linebacker.
I ain't gonna lie to you. As mean as Tyson is, I'd probably want him on defense, though.
Right, but that's what we think. Man, Tyson said he's mean, but then goddamn, man, them motherfuckers start truck sticking his ass. So that shit different. When Tyson get out there and get suspended every goddamn game, you can't do that shit like boxing.
Perfect, huh?
Can you imagine Tyson fucking in football, bro? He'd be eating people's fucking hands, feet, everything he could get his hands on, bro. That dude was.
Yeah, I mean, this is the truth right here. This is the truth right here, man. A lot of football players who don't make it to the professional level, a lot of those guys revert to boxing or some form.
Try boxing. Remember,
or some form of combat sports. Mm-hmm. Because football has a lot of the same characteristics as combat sports, because for one, it's physical and you use your hands quite often in the sport of football, hand placement and everything, man.
And they got to be fast. But you remember that guy, Seth Mitchell?
Yeah. But not just him. Sean Porter is a perfect example.
Sean Porter also. Yeah.
Gerald Washington as well.
Yep, Gerald Washington. Ken Norton was a big time.
Ken Norton. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's right. He did play football.
Holyfield. See, Holyfield went to school. He's a little bit older. He went to school with my mother and my uncles. And that's a big time football program. Holyfield likes football as well. He just was already doing boxing. And he could have played with my uncle. He's a little bit older, but he could have played in Fulton. Fulton High don't exist no more. They tore it down. But that's why his sons play football, because Holyfield couldn't have played football. But he just went so far with the his mama told him, man, you better stick with that goddamn boxing. So that's what it was. She wouldn't let him quit.
So who do you think of the football players, if they had been boxers, would have been the best? I have
Ray Lewis.
Let's say LT versus Merlin Olsen in boxing.
I give you a better example. Chandler Jones.
I'm just saying the only names I know. It's okay. Go ahead.
Ray Lewis. I'm trying to give you one that I know you kind of know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Chandler Jones is a dog.
You know Ray Lewis. You know Ray Lewis, Hyplo, right?
I've heard his name. I don't really know much about him though.
Okay. That's we'll stick with that one because that's pretty much.
It's real basic. I'm like super basic when it comes to football.
But Ray Lewis would be a good one.
Lawrence Taylor, like you said, that's a good one. Honestly.
Yeah, I was saying, who do you think will win a boxing match between LT and Merlin Olsen?
And who? Olsen?
Merlin Olsen. I only know that name because I met him one time.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but my money on LT over a lot of cats.
Is that not a football player? Am I tripping?
Nah, I don't know who that is.
Merlin Olsen, no? Is that not a football player?
It might be. I'm just not sounding familiar to me. Zone may be able to look it up.
No, I don't know who that person is. That because you got so many. I don't know if he went to college and coach. It's so many. We talking about the big time notable Hall of Famers. It's a lot of guys you could name, right? Because you got to think about it. It's different from boxing because you're talking about a 52-man roster, damn near, right? And it's 32 teams in the league. So that's a lot of bodies per year that have come through, and it just I want to say at this point, football may have more boxers in its pool that ever existed than probably boxers, official boxers, because you got to think about it, it's been around since '68.
That actually makes sense to me.
You said what? That makes sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's been around since '68. And you got 32 teams where initially it was 30. They expanded it with the Panthers and the Jaguars in 95, 96. So it was 30 teams. And you got to think about since 68, how many, just 52-man roster. I ain't saying it changed every year, but it rotates frequently. And we're not even including guys who played college football that didn't go pro. It's so many colleges. So I would argue that there's a lot more football players at this point than boxing. That's why, and let's bridge it to, because this is a good conversation. What's happening to American boxing is what I'm explaining to you now. And I learned this on this youth level too. People don't want to say, hey man, I'm finna go sign you up to the boxing gym. They're going to say, you need to go play football.
No one's saying that at all.
Exactly. You're going to send your son, especially with these single mothers. You don't really want to see the progression of your son throwing these hands. You got to have a real hardcore mama to really want to. She got to be a fighter.
Or a dad like myself.
Exactly. She got to be out there cutting people in the face and whipping girls up. She got to be like that herself. Or know like a family member that boxed to kind of say, okay, my dad did it, your uncle do it, and I'll get you into boxing. Or it's going to be something the kid that just he wants it. But most parents, especially when they got multiple kids, they're going to try to package them on a youth football team because there's
football, basketball.
Yes, because it's the youth. You got the range of that. And boxing is really expensive, man, than what people think. It's more expensive than football because you got to pay for the gym membership and you got to do all that shit on your own. That's why
the gloves, the wraps, the fucking all that shit. But I mean, doesn't football have a lot of equipment as well?
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah, no, I mean, so this is the real. So this honestly, this is the honest to God opinion about these two particular sports, right? Boxing. So let me just get down to the nitty gritty on it, right? Even the boxing community on YouTube is a small community, right? Then when
Very
you
small.
exactly. So even when you expand outside of just the YouTube community, when you talk about mainstream people who cover boxing, it's even smaller, right? And then when you jump to the big networks who discuss boxing, that's even smaller. You see what I'm saying? Um,
Non-existent.
there you go. So in the grand scheme of things, when you think about the sport of boxing, it's just not a lot of volume. So prime example in Texas, right? To find a credible gym that you can put your kid in so he can participate in boxing on a fundamental level and work his way up is
You're
going to
probably
be
driving 20, 30 miles.
exactly. You're driving. No, honestly, you're driving 25, 30 minutes out to a credible gym with somebody that really wants to teach the kids from a fundamental level, right? Um, and then when you get there, it is very expensive. You're talking about a gym membership that's probably in Texas, is going to probably cost you about 160 to maybe $200 a month just for that particular membership, and you may get,
Shit, I
uh,
pay like 200-300 already at a
yeah, and
Fortune
you may
gym.
get, yeah, and you may get two sessions a week with the trainer for like 30 minutes, right? So it's just the volume of boxing is just not there because the community is so small. But when you in Texas and you talk about football, I mean, it's literally on almost every corner. I mean, it's
Right
just
around the
so
corner. Yeah.
yeah, it's right
No,
around the
I
corner.
feel
And
that. Yeah.
even with basketball, it's right around the corner, right?
It
And a
might
lot
be
of
in
these
your front
programs,
yard. Basketball hoop.
exactly.
It's easy to
So
find.
yeah, and the Salvation Army and stuff like that used to traditionally have boxing, those a lot of that stuff has faded out because you don't have anybody to teach it on a safe level, right? So they phase a lot of that out, and it's just like Zone just mentioned that boxing can get very, very expensive because, as myself, I fought as an amateur. You have to travel to these tournaments. It costs money. There are several days.
Well,
It's
I
just
started as a fencer, Phil, and my dad had to drive me, like 20, 25, 30 minutes just to get to the fencing coach. And by the time I went to the Junior Olympics there, my coach was like barely available to me at all, if anything.
exactly. See, in down here where I'm at in Houston, it's only two facilities that do fencing in the whole greater Houston area. Two facilities, right? And and they do it on a college level, and you can pay for private lessons. So imagine how expensive that is.
And see, with the boxing at the high school level, to me, I think they need to do a teams, because here's the problem: boxing, right? So with wrestling in high school, you have your weight classes. It's like 17 weight class. You got your heavyweight, your 190. I think they remixed them and shit. You got your 152, your 160 guy. And what would happen is the coach would select his team, because you would get cut from a wrestling team. It's not you get to stay on it. They will get their teams, and they will get their most dominant person in every weight class. And then they would have a second backup for every person in the weight class. So you have two wrestlers, okay, per weight class. Let's say it's 152. Okay, don't quote me on that because it's changed from when I was in there. And then next weight class was 160, the next one 171, then 89, so forth, so on. Kind of like boxing. So you would have two of those guys. And what would happen is, when we have a wrestling meet, you would go against 14, well, it'd be three teams. It'd be all of them lined up on that square, because the mat is a square, but it's a circle in the middle. It'd be a team lined up against you, across from you, a team lined up on your right, and then your team would be lined up here all in chairs. And everybody would go match all the way up the list. And I think boxing needs to do that, and it simulates a boxing card, because it's nothing, man. It's like real terrible how they got the system set up. I think they need to have these schools have a boxer or two per weight class.
I think you hit on something right there, Zone, because I think that's why boxing in America has fallen so far. You don't got the amateur programs, you don't got the high school, you don't got the fucking college programs that you used to have, and that's why we ain't getting no gold medals.
Yeah, because see, listen, they got headgear as safe as possible. This is the most sweetest time to bring boxing into high schools, right? Just line you ain't got to do 4 teams, obviously. You could just do a card. And you're gonna have somebody to represent each weight classes that's in the amateur. How many amateur weight classes is there? X, right? There's that many of weight classes. So you just line up against another school.
I think about the same as pros, like around 16.
16,
Something around
17.
I think it's 14.
14 in the amateurs. So you get 14 matches. You see what I'm saying? You get 14 matches, and your best guys at the school can go against the next person at the school. Just set up the ring and shit like that and get it in. You know, I don't know what the issues is with that. And you get these guys exposed to fighting, boxing, protecting themselves, and
I think you hit on it earlier when you said the moms.
Well, if the school do it, see, it's always ways around the moms.
The moms don't want to see their sons, getting punched in the face.
They don't want to pay for that. What they don't want to pay for and be responsible for that high risk, low reward situation. Like football is so beneficial to them because see, they can drop the kids off and they can leave for 2-3 hours because we got them. Because we kind of want the mom out of the way anyway, because we're all that talking from the sideline. Man, go hang out, go on a date. Just get your ass out of here. Because we get into it with the moms all the time. This is just culture, so don't worry about that. But the moms, they like it because they get to drop the kids off once they know they look the coaches, and we got a family network. They come pick the kids up. They go run to the grocery store. They know their kids are good. But see, boxing, they will do the same thing with that big ass headgear on them 16-ounce gloves. They would do the same thing if the school did it. They just don't want to be, the mom just don't want to be overly priced, you know what I'm saying, for a sport that she's uncomfortable with. But if she can sign a waiver and sign a physical and he's on the boxing team at school and he could just stay after school and do it, oh, she'll like that. She wouldn't have no problem. And once they see that big ass headgear, man, them big ass puffy gloves, they're not gonna be really tripping. As long as the school is in charge of it. Because you ain't gonna do nothing but what you gonna do? They're gonna have you all in the gym. You're gonna be doing your road work. It's gonna probably be 28 kids, right? If that. If it's 14 weight class, it's probably gonna be 28 kids, right? At most. You're gonna have your backups, right? So they're going to be doing a lot of road work out there on the track. So they're going to be engaging with the football team and possibly the track members as well, too, because the boxing don't have to be a season. The boxing can be the entire school year, if that makes sense. And even some...
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah.
Right, so it doesn't have to be limited. It can be doing, as long as the school got the space and the scheduling. And think about it, when football happens, it's really not going to interfere with football because football will be at the stadium. You see what I'm saying? Boxing can be open on Saturday at the school in the gym. You got all night Friday to pick
Can you imagine how awesome that would be? Like to have like
every Saturday.
That would be awesome, bro.
Every fucking Saturday watching boxing at the high school, dog.
Because you know when there's a fight in high school, like everyone's showing up. Like,
Exactly, bro. They got the market and people will pay for it. I just
then you got two schools going against each other and stuff like that. Come on, bro.
Somebody needs
fucking awesome.
I'm gonna petition Trump to do that. That's what I'm gonna ask for. I'm gonna ask for they ask me something. I'm like, hey, man, we need to bring high school boxing into the field.
Man, did you know Teddy Roosevelt had a boxing ring installed in the White House?
Yeah. Roosevelt always tried to. He thought he was tough.
Yeah, but Roosevelt actually was a boxer, but
yeah,
they say he used to be getting stopped though. But still,
you ever heard the quote from Ernest Hemingway? He had a quote that said, like, my writing is second and my boxing is number one.
So, and then think about it. So now you get to open up scholarships for these kids to box. And then see, here's the thing now about the boxing. If you got them fucking hands, you ain't got to go to a major university. As long as this can be community, because hands is hands. You see what I'm saying? Hands is hands.
High school would be the ideal place.
No, what I'm saying is once you establish it in high schools, then the colleges can pick it up as well too. Or you could just launch yourself into the amateurs. You see what I'm saying? Like you can go to college and box for college. You see what I'm saying? And you just do your little time over there. and then be a part of the NCAA, like as usual, box the guys on that open circuit, or you can go amateur and still go to Golden Glove route. You don't have to go to college, but I think some colleges should have it open for those guys who want to go to college as well too. And then that way you
but
get
I like that military boxing too.
the military
The
guys.
Army versus Navy and
Yeah.
Marines, they all hate each other so much. Like, that's awesome. I love watching
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah. I mean, that's really what that's really the structure that they need to elaborate into the high schools because
Mm-hmm.
it's really no different, honestly. Um, and I mean, honestly, man, I think the main thing is just it's gonna be. So this is the thing about the high school, right? I used to be a coach in high school, right? So the problem is this right here. It's so political nowadays that I don't know if a school district would be um, on par with a kid participating in boxing or fighting um, just because of the visual representation, right? I mean,
Bro, are
obviously
you kidding me? Like the as soft as these schools have gotten, bro, they wouldn't even call my son the valedictorian. He was the
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
valedictorian. They
Yeah,
gave it some other fucking weird name.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
fucking
Yeah,
disgusting, bro. How
yeah, and
fucking
that's
soft this shit has gotten. But go on.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be hard to convince staff or school district to say, hey, let's let these kids punch each other in the face, for entertainment, right? They already hard enough on football, right? They changing that sport a lot,
Entertainment at that
but
age, it would be competition. Not, yeah, but go on.
yeah, but I do think it is something that's feasible. And it may be a situation where it just may be in one school district. It don't have to be in all the school districts. Just implement it, see how it does, and see who signs up for it. And it may be something that's real successful at the end of the day. But
It, keep,
it's going to be
it,
hard to get those guys to sign up for it, though, I believe.
it could be, but see with that headgear and the poofy gloves on, it ain't like we saying like it ain't like when Sugar Ray Leonard was boxing where that shit was just your afro and your shirt. That shit that looked brutal. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that one. But bro, let me tell you something. Man, you know how often these kids get to fighting in these goddamn schools and these teachers are kind of
But
allude to.
you do know. Oh shit! Someone's got background,
I can
but
only speak. I can only speak for South DeKalb School District. I can't speak for everybody else. I just know.
but no, what I wanted to say real quick was that the Olympics have removed the headgear now again. But
Right,
go
but
on.
high schools don't have to. The high schools do not have to remove the headgear. The high
No, they
school,
should have the headgear. They should.
yes, right, right. So the high school should have the headgear, and this is also a good thing because, like, obviously, okay. So obviously, if the high schools are doing it, then you're gonna get gyms kind of sprouting up a little bit as well too, because those high schoolers are going to want to do clinics, and those clinics will allow you to so like in the clinics, right? The clinics, they will tell you whether, hey, your child should be looking at some collegiate boxing. Your child should be looking at going to the Olympics. Your child, it'll create the opportunity
Or
for a
your child should not do this.
yeah, right. He should just stay here and look at other options, right? Because that's what happens with football. Like, but you really don't want to tell when you're a coach. You don't really tell somebody what they can't do, no matter what it is, because some people blossom late, right? Even grown men. There's some people who have a better back end career than front end career. So you never, as an athletic coach or a person of leadership, you never want to cap somebody off and tell them what they can't do, because you never know what their potential can lead to in the future that can benefit the entire whole.
Hey, Tommy Hearns was no great boxer, before Emmanuel Stewart got to him. He
Right.
just had the body, and like Emmanuel Stewart saw the vision and got him there. So yeah, I agree with you. A coach can make all the difference.
Because Burberry started fighting at 23, started boxing down there at 23. You know what I'm saying? Bernard Hopkins, he was in prison. He didn't start at 25. Rolly started at what, 19? So Wilder goddamn started at 20 damn near when he realized he was at Walmart and shit.
Man,
So
look what that guy accomplished
exactly.
starting that late. Fuck, bro.
Exactly.
That's
That's my
amazing to
point.
me.
It's amazing
And
to me
just
too.
for his daughter
That's why I made
too.
the statement. That's why I said, as a coach, you don't want to ever say that, because if somebody had told Deontay Wilder that too early, we might not never have gotten him. Or a Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins would have got a prison. Somebody would say. So you always got to let them. What you do is you evaluate them and tell them what the course corrections are. Hey, I need you to go to this specialist. If you want to continue this, I need you to do this. And most of the time, it ain't even that the kid can't do it. It's usually their environment, and it's usually their commitment to the sport themselves. Now, when a kid decides to, I don't want to do this no more, then that's when you know you can't do anything no more. When a child is going to quit on themselves, or they might just say, man, this ain't for me, nigga. I know it. I want to play video games. Fuck it. Then that's different.
No, well, I'm trying to motivate my son because he doesn't want to be no pussy.
Right. And those are factors too. So, but they definitely need to bring high school boxing back into the bring it in to me, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll have some kids not fighting as much. I think they'll put down the guns. I think that shit, you want to fight, it'll give you some of that.
It's a venue for like to resolve that shit instead of like people like wanting to fucking stab each other and fucking run away and shit. Fight. Let's see it happen.
And the guys who really want to do it, they're gonna do it. Okay, the people who ain't interested in it and they just talking shit, they're not gonna do it. And they're gonna keep some order in the school, because I mean, if you got a boxing team of 28 guys walking around that shit changes everything. Like, bullies stop becoming bullies because you got 28 guys that are getting in there in the ring, and then because think about this. So let's say you got a guy who's talking shit. Hey man, just come to boxing practice. That's real simple. Come to boxing practice.
Or come fight me.
Come to boxing practice, man. What are you talking about? Fight me? That entails that.
Not me, but I mean,
no, I know what you mean. But listen to the scenario. If you're in school and you are a high school boxer, and that's anybody, it don't even got to be somebody on the team. Two idiots, they want to fight each other. Hey, go to practice today, and y'all can lace the gloves up.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. That's perfect, because man, they should fucking do this, bro.
Yeah, they should have been did it. I've been saying this since 2013. When
that'd be curbing a lot of this bullshit that we see with these fucking idiots, out here trying to fucking kill each other.
And girls allowed too. You want to get another Clarissa Shields. I mean, it's always 2 or 3 girls that want to throw them hands and beat people up all the time. So, I mean, throw her in there and let her go against the other 9 schools in the district. And then outside of that, if you want to go to county, because it's going to be like wrestling. You're going to have your area, you're going to have your county, and then you're going to have your state. Once you come from state, then that's when you start blossoming into the national. You know what I'm saying? Because and that includes people who ain't boxing on a high school circuit.
National, international, intercontinental.
Exactly.
There you go.
And then you flow into possibly the Olympics. You have you could choose your own trajectory from there.
Yeah, our Olympic teams have been shit for the last few years, man. God damn.
Yeah. So that's how you do that,
so
man.
Bad.
That's how you bring coaches. That's how you bring the old coaches back out, the old pad mans, the old cut mans, and give them something to do, because they're dormant as well too. They can get into these schools, and then they can kind of it can just revive the whole sport. So that's just my opinion on boxing being in high school, and that is what it is. But
I do like this subject that we came up with which is figuring out maybe which football players would have made good boxers and which boxers would have made good football players. Because I know you guys are trying to transition off to the football thing, but just as a friend, like I don't know shit about football, but I like that because it gives me a frame of reference, you know? Like what would for instance, Ken Norton played football, right?
Yeah, I think he already played. I don't know what position Ken Norton played. He looked like
That's what I'm wondering, so I can get a
yeah,
frame
Ken
of reference.
Norton. Yeah, Ken Norton did play football.
but what he was linebacker, running
Or
back.
like if OJ was like a boxer, you know, how would he fucking have done? Like what would have, you know?
But see,
I
this the
think
problem though.
OJ
This is a
might have
little
been
bit
a good
different.
boxer.
But see, you gotta look at. Here's the thing though, Hype. You got something you can look at. If you look up I sent it to you. Le'Veon Bell versus Adrian Peterson. Those are two running backs from the NFL that boxed each other.
Oh
And that
wait, what is this?
this is Le'Veon
Adrian,
Bell.
hold on, let me write this down.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson. If you
Uh-huh.
just type it in on YouTube, I don't know if you're on your
No, I'm
phone.
writing it down. I want to
So
look it
so
up.
high flow. This is what I
I'm
recommend
old
first.
school.
All
Adrian
right.
Peterson.
Yeah, this is what I recommend first. Type in Adrian Peterson football highlights. That way you get an idea of what he looked like on the football field,
I'm finna
right?
send it
But
to
And
you.
then
who did he fight? Was it
No,
another football
no,
player or
tell you.
no?
yes, another football player, another player who played the exact same position as him.
Okay. And what position was that?
This was running back.
Running back. Okay.
Yeah. So
Adrian Peterson, running back
yes, and
versus
then
who?
not Le'Veon Bell.
Wait, say that again.
Le'Veon.
Levion, Levian.
No, I don't think so.
Hold on, Hype.
Lev.
I'm finna send everything to you now. You ain't, I'm finna
Yeah,
send it
okay,
to you
yeah, I don't.
right now. I'm finna send it to you right now. I'm finna send you the highlights of Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell, and then I'm finna send you the fight.
Yeah, because you want to. The thing about it is you want to get an idea, and the reason why I'm telling you to watch them,
I never knew about
uh,
this.
the reason why I'm saying watch them on the football field first, so you can see how much of a difference it is in their styles in the football. You see what I'm saying? They play the same position, but they don't look the same when they're doing it, right?
Bro, I love
So
this. I love this crossover though, but
Look, see,
I
because
used to watch this
check
guy
it.
Tom.
I know.
Yeah.
Check. See, you got that. I got you the highlights for Adrian Peterson first, Le'Veon Bell second, and then I got the full fight to you right now. I sent it to you. So you can look at those three, look at the, like he said, get a context of them as a football player, context of Le'Veon Bell as a football player, and then them coming into the sport that you understand. So yeah, this is pretty cool. See, this is stuff that me and Phil talking about that we want to bridge together that people might not even know about, because us as boxing fans, most of the people didn't even know that these two guys had a fight.
That's awesome, bro. How do you think Bo Jackson would have done again? Who's the other guy that played football and baseball?
Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders.
Yeah, Deion Sanders. Who do you think will win a fight between them two?
But and Bo Jackson, oh man, Bo Jackson killed
man,
Deion.
Bo Jackson will stop Dion.
Yeah, man, Bo Jackson.
First round stoppage.
Yeah, Bo Jackson would have been a vicious heavyweight,
I
man.
remember Bo Jackson when I was a kid, bro. Like he had those commercials. I know Bo or whatever it was.
Yeah, Bo
Like,
knows best.
bro, that guy seemed invincible, bro. Like, how do you learn baseball and football? Like so
Well,
completely different.
really, it's really not that different though, because I'm a baseball guy too. Um, so I'm gonna be talking about baseball on my channel as well as football and other sports. Um, see, YG used to be a big time which we don't really talk to YG anymore, but he was a baseball guy as well. He understood baseball, a big time Yankees fan. But um, yeah, man, it's really not that different. You know, baseball is actually a sport, man. You know, it's
That's
a lot of
weird because I
hands,
feel like
eye.
it's like a totally different skill set. And
Nah,
I
it's
also wonder, I
hand
also
eye
want to,
coordination.
because you guys both went Bo Jackson real quick. I want to understand why you picked Bo Jackson.
Yeah, man, you might want to check this. You gonna like this fight, man. That's something you want to check out so you can get more context. That'll answer a lot of your questions. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up too. So Hyplo, go ahead and chew on that, man, that information, and you'll get a lot of your questions answered there. So anything you want to say before I go ahead and let you go?
No, I enjoyed the conversation, and I hope to revisit it with you guys, as soon as possible.
All right, man. We'll see you. Hey, check those. I sent you that. You can check those out right now, man. And
I'm
it's
going to.
yeah,
I'm
yep.
like actually excited to look at it.
All right, boy. I'll see you, Hyplo.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Phil, as we wrap it up, did you want to say anything? Or you moving around, or what's the case? Tell them about the intent for the new show and stuff like that.
Yeah, nah, man. Just real quick, I am moving around. I just got out of the gym. You know, health is wealth, man. You got to stay fit out here. Um, but look, man. As far as the show is concerned, I know Zone laced y'all up on what we're gonna be doing, man. Uh, you know, we're just gonna be ping ponging off of one another with this sports thing, man. Bringing a different flavor to YouTube. Um, we both have a lot to offer. Uh, as far as individuals that know about sports all around, not just boxing, we will still cover boxing, but we're gonna mix in football, basketball, baseball, track and field, um, you know, everything, man. Just to be more well-rounded and bring you guys something different. And we're gonna try to stay consistent. I know Zone was saying it. I mean, heard he mentioned 2 days a week. Um, so yeah, man, y'all boys just stay tuned. We're gonna be bringing y'all that fire, like my boy like to say, man, live in HD, and it's gonna be something to witness, man, because we finna take this up a notch, man. We
Mm-hmm.
definitely finna take it up a notch.
Yep, yep. So just like Phil said, man, we finna get y'all them slots. We're gonna start in July. That's gonna be a blockbuster month. It's gonna have obviously the fourth. Depending on what we got going on, man, we may bring y'all something on that 4th of July to kick it off, man. Start that Star Spangled Banner off right. Obviously we got the Earl Spence fight and Terrence Crawford. No, that's Earl Spence in July, right? It is July, right? Or June.
July 29th.
Yeah, July 29th. So then that month we got the biggest fight coming up. So it's not like we're abandoning boxing. It's just that, like my boy Phil say, man, y'all got us fucked up a little bit. So we just want to talk about some different stuff, man, to bring some people in, to be a little bit more humble, to show the difference in like, because some people need to understand that, like, I'm not a baseball guy. So to hear somebody else talk about baseball and me be like, what? Oh, what about that? What about that? Like Hyplo got to enjoy. Like, oh man, how does this relate to boxing? Sometimes you got to be in that space. When you got guys who never in that space because they gonna just be doing what they're comfortable with, it creates a level of arrogance and a level of distortion on reality. Like Phil say, you be having shit fucked up. So we gotta just bring some balance, man. Bring a different flavor and do some things different because those same talking points in boxing really do get boring, and they do get redundant.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's kind of why I meant a lot of stuff gets redundant. And you know, it's so much more material out there to be tapped into with different sports. And like I said, man, we still can talk about boxing, like Zone just mentioned. So for me, um, obviously Zone is more knowledgeable than I am from the boxing standpoint. But you know, when it comes to football and baseball,
Baseball.
I think, you know, I'm probably would be the lead man in that, right? And that's the point, man. That's what makes a real rounded sports show, and that's what me and Zone bringing to the table, man. And we still gonna have all the same guys from the round table tuning in because Wayne Talk is a basketball guy.
Mm-hmm,
So you
mm-hmm.
see how that works?
And Rollo messed with the golf. Rollo messed with that golf. So in that Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, see, that Kentucky Derby,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
And then me and Phil gonna always, all of us always gonna talk politics, especially we talk politics without sports, but we're gonna give you when they bring that in, me and Phil fuck with we follow the C-SPAN like a motherfucker. We follow all that shit. So when it comes down to like really the Ukraine situation and how it affect, you know what I'm saying, Lomachenko and them, we could have really cooked on that. We just missed the opportunity. It still is there, but we gonna be able to bring y'all that. The Deion Sanders stuff, we cooked on it. That's a good one. The Shakari Richardson, me and him both like track and field, and then we gonna get ready because next year, guess what? The Olympics is happening, and me and Phil fuck with the Olympics. So, like I said, I fuck with NASCAR as well too. I do, and I'm gonna tell you what I be catching. If I'm picking up on that bare knuckle boxing, I'm really catching that a lot more as well too, and keeping track of that. And I had got turned on to that when I was doing my research about bare knuckle, and then they brought it back obviously. So I'm starting to mess with that, and me and Phil we just well versed, man. And then that's including movies and TV shows that are sports related, karate, you know, MMA, boxing related. We mess with all that. Documentaries that's sports related, political and sports in nature. We fuck with all that. So that's what we're gonna bring to the table. That way we always got some fresh talking points, some creative talking points, because like Bible said, relating it to boxers and the football players in their respective football position on the field, that's a cool project. You could keep running that back to give everybody a synopsis of what it parallels like. Because he's saying he's absolutely new to football and he needs to have that understanding. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And just man, just this the thing, man. It's so many different, you got professional basketball players that play football. You got professional football players that play basketball. And I mean, when I say played, I'm talking about was some of the best at their position in the whole country. Randy Moss was a hell of a basketball player. He played with Jason Williams. So it's just a lot of that stuff, man. Terrence Crawford was a wrestler in high school, right? So I mean, this sports shit, man. It cross over a lot of lanes, man, and you just don't want to limit yourself just to one particular sport. And that's the lane that me and Zone are finna jump into, man. And I hope you boys tune into it. And if you don't know about a lot of this stuff, you will learn about this stuff, man, because it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a journey, man. We're gonna talk about the fantasy football stuff, fantasy basketball. It's a lot to be had, man. I can guarantee you, man. You boys gonna have fun with it, man. I can promise you that for sure.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what Phil's saying, man, it's really gonna be fun, man. I think this is better. Like I already just feel the funness on doing this video already. It's just a different sigh of relief, man, to take off all that shit that's not conducive to what we like to do. Cause I'm not just I don't not know shit outside of just boxing, right? Like I don't just gotta rely on Larry Holmes. Like that's all I know. And I'm not saying that about anybody else. I'm just saying about me. So I want to make this a fun sports channel with Phil, and I think he's the one who aligned with my schedule and who has the same kind of alignment with what I'm trying to do. Because it just ain't worth conversating with people and taking things personal, because boxing get a little too segregated, a little too catty, and I think just tapping in on it and tapping back out works out for me a whole lot better. And while whatever's going on over there with the boxing community, me and Phil could be talking about golf, the Kentucky Derby, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, some NASCAR shit, something that happened that's more politically sports sound. I mean, because me and him want to get even on just the politics of sports, like what's going on with Skip and Shannon. You see what I'm saying? Like, what do you think? Is Skip who's gonna be found in that spot to replace Shannon? Is Shannon gonna go to Stephen A. Smith in First Take because they're saying that Stephen A. wants Shannon over there? I think that's been an overdue combination, and I think Skip. It'd be interesting to find who he partners with. You see what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, and just to touch on that, and Phil, you want to cook on that. What you think about that situation? The breakup between Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless on Undisputed.
Yeah, man. This is the thing, man. The breakup between those two guys, man. I think that it's a job, man. And I think that, to me personally, Shannon Sharp had too much emotion invested into the show. I think he had too much emotion invested into Skip Bayless. And the thing about Skip is, man, you just got to take a lot of stuff he says with a grain of salt, because Skip Bayless will speak from a emotional standpoint when it comes to certain players, because he has that connection with them, right? It's like you're almost talking about his best friend, right? If you're not in agreement, or you aligned with that particular person, such as like a Tom Brady or a Baker Mayfield, right? Skip Bayless feels as though he has a special connection to these particular players. And I just think that Shannon wasn't able to separate the two. But I do think what Shannon does well is he brings his facts, his stats, and he does very well in articulating his points. So he was good for the show. I did like him and Skip. That, to me, they made a good team. I just think that Shannon just got a little emotionally drained with dealing with Skip on a day-to-day basis like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I think Shannon is grateful for Skip requesting him and bringing him in, because Skip did request Shannon. He said he wanted Shannon, and he got Shannon, right? And it did propel Shannon into a different stratosphere as far as career in sports media. Now he's got his own show, and who knows what the future may bring for him, man. So I think he's grateful for that, but at the same time, he doesn't want to compromise his integrity, because he feels as though Skip hits below the belt a lot of times. And because he feels that way, he's in a position to where he's like, you know what? I do better going off and doing my own thing. And I think that's how that situation dissolved between those two guys. But at the end of the day, man, they both are going to remain on television, whether it's on their own shows or somebody else's respective show or somebody else's respective network. And I think they're both going to do well, as they have been doing for the past several years.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That makes sense to me. And I think that it is time for them to part ways, because I do want to see Stephen A. and Skip together. I think they will have some good dialogue, and I think they have just the right amount of disagreements. And I would love to have that first conversation and see it, because I would love to see Shannon bring LeBron James, and I would love to see Stephen A. Smith argue the Michael Jordan argument. I like they're similar to respect each other, but they're different to where they're going to have great natural disagreements. That's not. It almost make me want to see him over there. Like, if I can get LeBron for one more season and Skip with Shannon with Stephen A. That'll be a good season for me. I definitely want to see that. So, we try to keep these at 2 hours. It's just a small sample of what to expect. Remember, guys, we got the debate coming Sunday. If Phil wanted to do something on Thursday, if he's available, we'll do another one on Thursday just to keep it going, and we'll come up with real topics on Thursday. That could be the second one that we launch, and me and him come up with the titles. It depends on what he got going on. If it's that 9-11 block, AM or PM, we could do it. If not, I'm gonna scrap it, and then we'll go to the debate on Sunday with BVO versus Get This Smoke. I have more information on that as we comb through the week. Smoke should be advertising it and speaking on it, and so should BVO. It's for the belt and it's for $50. Also, we're gonna conclude the whole. I think Phil, we concluded the tournament, the debate series brackets for the most part, right? You want to speak on that and talk about that a little bit too, because we might
Oh
do
yeah, man. Yeah,
other
we'll
brackets.
we'll we'll yeah, we'll cook on that a little bit later, man. Just to but as well, look, everybody, look, check this out, man. We gonna be doing shows on my channel as well. So Zone Six if you don't see the show on Zone Six channel, just come pull up on mine. Or if you on mine and you don't see the show and we got a show scheduled, then pull up on Zone Sixes. But we're gonna do a good job of keeping you guys in the loop to know which one, which platform it'll be on, either mine or his. Just to give y'all a heads up on that right there. So make
I,
sure you,
what I'll do for Phil as well, what happened is when I'll keep it on the community page, me and him both, we can do it like that. But what I'll
yeah,
do
cool.
is before, when we got it locked in the day before, I'll create a short, I'll create a poll to simulate and stimulate what we're gonna be going into with the sports topic. So I want you guys to understand now. I may say, for instance, I may poll top 5 wide receivers, and then me and Phil may get on to that top 5 wide receivers. You see what I'm saying? And matter of fact, hey, Boxologist is in here too. He can speak on to wrap up this tournament thing because he's there. So that's a good thing. So we got him. Boxologist is gonna be our boxing guy. You know what I'm saying? But we stretching out. So we got Boxologist. You know, he's in the tournament. He can give you his experience about it. He can come on there and talk about it. Me and Phil gonna diversify into football and do other things. So I know Boxologist is mainly primarily a boxing fan, and me and Phil do other things, and that's what we're doing with the show. That's why we're going into sports. So we're gonna do fantasy football, fantasy basketball. Wayne talk love basketball. We do politics and the structure of sports. We could have got on an Angel Reese in that situation, but we just missed it. But we're gonna get onto it, and we're gonna be prepared for the Olympics. Boxologist too, if you want to get on and speak your piece and cook your stuff, then you're more than welcome to come on. The link is for you. It's in the chat. It's in between your two posts. So come on if you got time or whatever it is you got going on. Phil, you got something too as well? See if Boxologist is gonna come on.
Nah, man, I'm pretty much, man. That's pretty much all I have right now, man. I'm coming off the night shift. Just went and hit the gym. Saw you was going live, jumped in. I wanted to make sure I participated in this because this is big news for the both of us. You know how long I've been gearing up to transition into just not just boxing, into other sports, because as you know, me and you, we talk offline, and you know how passionate I am about football. So this is something that's long overdue, man, really for the both of us, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be fun, man, because I've been having some ideas about it, man. I just hope that everybody has fun with it, man, and tuned into it, and support the channels, man, both me and Zone. So y'all boys, man, y'all stay tuned to Zone's community page as well as my community page. If you subscribe to the Fix THAFIX Sports TV. And y'all get ready for this 5, man. Just want to shout out to Box Dodgers, man. Congratulations on your win last night in the tournament. And salute to you, Zone, man. So it's all good, baby.
Okay, cool. Shoot, we got like 10. I'm gonna try to keep them at 2 so everybody can get a gauge, so it won't be no rush or no. We got 10. We got 11 minutes technically. We got 10. So we ain't gonna rush off. We're gonna keep it clean. We ain't gonna have no sloppiness. I gotta say this. I'm finna tell you guys now. If you felt there was a level of whatever the fuck arrogance, like I'm gonna speak for me. I'm gonna let Phil speak for himself. I'm going to merge my Facebook people and community in this and my other social networking in here. I'm going to start blocking bullshit people that are lame. Because we talking sports here. Now that we out of the boxing thing, not solely, but kind of, because we do more than one sport. Fantasy football, I already got my draft pick. I want to talk on that. Me and Phil gonna do the joint show. It's gonna be Tuesdays and it's gonna be Sundays. And we're gonna give you guys more of that schedule and give you more of that rhythm. And we're gonna talk about all sports. Obviously, if there's a big boxing match, we'll incorporate that in there as well too. But I'm sliding away from the boxing community as a whole, and we're gonna do more of the sports, and we're gonna have a lot more fun because I think that's the space. But if you come in here with nonsense and bullshit, I think I can speak for Phil as well because he's gonna merge his other social media blocks, and we're gonna have people from Texas and Georgia and just our friends in on this, and nobody has time for ignorant nonsense. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna leave it at that. Now let's Phil give his spiel. And boxologist, I know you came in. I don't know if you drop out, but we'll give you a chance to get back in and cook your piece and speak your piece. Go ahead, Phil, if you want to speak on the etiquette of what to expect from our channel and what you ain't gonna tolerate.
Yeah, man. Just to reiterate what Zone just said, I agree with him 110%, man. Uh, Merging in my other social medias such as my Instagram as well as my Facebook, my Twitter. I'm going to merge that into the show. And honestly, man, for me personally, I try to maintain a level of professionalism when I'm online. I try not to embarrass myself or embarrass the people that I represent, right? Which is my family. So um, when you come on the show or you see the show, it's going to be a level of etiquette. It's not going to be the riffraff and the bullshit, per se, right? It's going to be a nice, clean show, man, with good topics, good fun, good banter between me and Zone. Cause that's my brother, but we don't agree on everything. So you guys should look forward to me and Zone going head up on various different topics. And we disagree on just enough topics to keep this interesting. So, I'm not going to take anything personal that Zone says to me, and as well as he's not going to do it, take anything personal that I say to him, because at the end of the day, we're just giving our opinions on sports-based conversation, right? And it's going to be fun, man, because this gives us an opportunity to incorporate our friends and some of our family members into the shows, because this is the people that's going to be supporting us. So we want to put on a great representation of ourselves during doing these shows together, man. So just to give y'all a heads up, like I say, man, just to reiterate what Zone just said, it's not going to be a bunch of the riff-raff and the BS, the lame stuff. People just come in with that foolishness, man, and we just trying to clean that up, man. And that's part of the reason why we're leaving not really leaving, but opening up different avenues from the boxing community, because it's a lot of that involved in that community, man. And quite frankly, I've gotten to a point to where I'm frustrated with it. I'm tired of it, and I have to stop myself sometimes from going off on somebody, right? So anytime you put yourself in a position like that, that might mean you need to walk away from it, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I think Zone is probably in alignment with that, and this is why we're outsourcing the different sports, outside of the fact that we have a bunch of knowledge to offer you guys.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I guess I'm not sure. My phone is dead. I don't got opportunity to talk to boxologist. Let me just check before, because he did jump on. I just want to make sure everything's straight. Hey, boxologist, if you can hear this, hopefully everything's straight. I don't know if you want to come on and just talk about or speak about his experience in the tournament, because me and Phil did ask Tony reviews that last night. And if we get an opportunity to ask some of the participants, we can. I know Money Brown was in here. I know you guys kind of do drive-by sometime. If Money Brown is still in here, you're more than welcome to jump on. I extended for boxologists and Money Brown just to speak on their tournament experience. And we can cook on that if they want to join. I'm not sure if they want to, but just so you guys can understand, again, me and Phil will start working on the show won't necessarily be on Thursday. Thursday, if Phil wants to come back and he got a time for me, I'll put it on the community page. We'll come up with the topics on Thursday just to feed you guys another good one, because I think you guys like this by and large. And we'll start building the schedule from there. And this is starting July, so you get to get all your kinks out, get all your ideas out. Me and him gonna get in the background, and we're gonna talk to each other and work it out, and just give you guys time enough to build your schedule, to know, okay, Zone and Field are saying they're gonna do X on these days, and that way you can just step into it. Because when football come around, that's gonna turn it up a lot. Especially with me and him both being fantasy managers. Okay, and that Sunday football block, that's gonna be awesome. That Monday football block, and then that Thursday night football block, and then the NBA starts 4 weeks after that. That's gonna be interesting. And then next year we got the Olympics, and then before the Olympics we got the draft as usual, the NBA draft, and then you got the NFL draft that me and Phil will be paying closely attention to. And don't forget, we got, as of right now, hopefully B Talk can join us. Depending on what his schedule is, depending on what his obligations are, he can join us on it. He's the basketball guy. Boxologists do boxing. He can join us. Hyplo, everybody's welcome to be joined. But also, I'm gonna just let you guys know, sometimes me and Phil is just pretty much, I'm gonna say this, probably like 80% of the time we're gonna rock out, just conversating with each other and get a rotation in. We're probably gonna cook, get a foundation, and then have you guys rotate in. And that's at least on my day how I would do it. But Phil gonna have his day, and he'll kind of do it a different way, probably from me. So we're gonna rotate it back and forth because we want complete balance. You know what I'm saying? Daytime, nighttime, his channel, my channel, and we brothers, and we're gonna keep rocking it like that. That's the structure. With that being said, man, this is the last call. Like I said, we got 3 minutes. I go through and shout out some of these people in the comment section. I guess Boxologist Money Brown is no longer there. Jedi was in the house. Let me go ahead and start from the top and get this. Green Eyes P, appreciate you. What's up, the Green Eyes P? Hyplo Type Zero stopped by. What's up, man? Shout out to you. LTBA stopped by. Shout out to you. Ryan Clark, shout out to you. Jay Cotto, aka the Jedi, shout out to you. Bruce Gas, appreciate you for joining us, man, as usual. We're gonna get down here and we're gonna see Mr. Pads. Appreciate you for joining us. As usual, you always supporting.
That's my boy. That's my boy, Mr. Pads. That's my guy.
Yeah, I like him. I fuck with him. We're trying to get consistent people like that. Obviously, Jedi is one. Some good comments back and forth in the comment sections. That was great. Boxologist came through. Money Brown came through. Obviously, Fix is on here with me. Toby Barlett, appreciate that. And the Boxing Wizard, I see you came through. Mick, you came through. Appreciate that. Salute. Joe, I see you. And then we closed off with make sure I ain't miss nobody. Boxingologist and Jamil, I see you.
And Lisa was in there.
Lisa was in there too as well. I saw Lisa one time. She just stopped by real quick and I missed her joint. But I see her in there. Shout out to Lisa. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. Like I said, this is the last call, last minute. Phil, you got any closing statements before we see what's the next move?
Nah, man. Lamar Jackson. yeah. That's just all I got.
I'll try to put this picture up there. But all right, boy, that's it, man. I'm gonna let Phil get on out of here, and then we're gonna chop it up. Man, it was a great show today. I enjoyed this. This is more of my lane. It's more of my speed. Obviously, we're gonna still cook on this boxing shit, but we're gonna get to the nitty gritty of all sports, and we're gonna talk everything. You're gonna catch me and Phil Walker. Stand by for the schedule. In the meantime, in between time, stay safe, stay fresh, stay fit. And then, just be spontaneous. Be ready for us to come hit you, with one of these dope ass videos on sports. Deion Sanders, football, baseball, basketball. You guys get it. We're not gonna beat a dead horse. This your boy Zone 6 coming at you with another video. I'm out.